Hi and welcome to Old Time Knowledge. Today I'm going to be making apple butter. This is something my mom loves, so I am making this for her. I'm super excited about it. This is a long project. It takes pretty much all day because you just have to get the apples in the slow cooker and just let them cook for hours and hours and hours until they're done. And then you have delicious apple butter. But I'm also excited about this project because I have this new steam canner. I've complained before about how long it takes me to bring water up to a boil to do water bath canning. But this doesn't require all that much water. The steam canner, you just put a little bit of water in the bottom of the steam canner and it uses steam to can your jams, jellies, pickles, any of your acidic things that you could otherwise water bath can. So I'm super excited to try this out and I'll tell you how I like it, if it's worth getting. So stick with me and we'll get right to it. All right, so I have the apples that I've cut up, 6 pounds of Fuji apples that I cored and I just cut up. Well, when I use the corer, it just takes the core out and it cuts them into these nice little slices. I've left the skins on because these are going to cook so long. Once they're done, I'm going to blend everything together and it's all just going to dissolve and it's going to be part of the apple butter. This is an 8-hour recipe. So it might even take longer. It might take 10 hours. We're just going to keep our eye on it. The cool thing about this recipe is you can literally do anything you want with it, assuming that you know the principal ingredients. You definitely want plenty of sugar. You're going to want your spices. I have cinnamon, I have allspice, I have nutmeg, and I have cloves. I've got 2 kinds of sugar, brown sugar and white sugar. And I'm going to be adding a little bit of salt. So I'm just going to start adding these things in. This is a cup of brown sugar, a cup of white sugar, I'm going to add in a good tablespoon of cinnamon. And see, here's the thing. Once this is done cooking, I'm going to give everything a taste and I'm going to see how it is. If I think it's fine, that's great. But if I feel like it needs something else, I'll just add something else. I'm just going to sprinkle in a little bit of allspice. I don't know exactly how much this is going to be, but for now, I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit in. I want to get about a half a teaspoon of nutmeg. And this is a 1/4 of a teaspoon measuring spoon. Okay, so that's about a half teaspoon of nutmeg. And I'm going to add about a half teaspoon of cloves, ground cloves. These are kind of heaping teaspoons. You know what, I'm going to go ahead. There's not a whole lot of nutmeg left in here. I'm going to go ahead and add some more. This is going to be about a full teaspoon of nutmeg. And I need to get some salt. You know how salt just really pulls out the sweetness of anything with sugar? If you add a little bit of salt, it just really boosts the sweetness. So that's a half a teaspoon of salt. So now I'm just going to get in here and get this mixed, and what's going to happen is these apples, they're just going to start cooking down. They're going to start producing their own juice. They're going to start cooking down. My house, y'all, is going to smell amazing, amazing, amazing. And I'm going to be definitely adding more sugar as I go, but this is all I want to add for now. If I had to guess, before it's all over with, I'll probably add another 2, even possibly 3 cups of sugar. But for now, I think this is going to be fine. So, all right, I'm going to get the lid on this and just let it go. All right, I want to just show you this. These have only been in the slow cooker a short time, but they are producing a lot of liquid as they cook down, which is of course making it really easy for the sugar to dissolve and the spices to start getting in there, all mixed in those apples really, really good. I wish you can smell this already because it does smell pretty amazing. I'm going to see if I can get you down in there. Well, maybe not. It's pretty dark when you're looking at it. But there is definitely, oh, there we go. There is definitely juice down in there. And I'm just going to let this keep going. And probably in another couple of hours, I'll be adding in some more sugar. Probably at least another cup. And then I might wait until the end to figure out if I need to add another cup or more. So just stay tuned and I'll be back with you as soon as there is more to report. All right, it's been probably about 2.5 hours. These apples have cooked down a good bit and they've produced some juice. They're still plenty big, but I think that this is a good time to go ahead and stir in some more sugar. So that is exactly what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to go ahead and add in about 2 more cups of sugar. The thing is, really, I want it to be white sugar and brown sugar, but I'm running out of brown sugar. This is a 1/2 cup measuring cup, so this is just me adding 2 more cups. I'm going to go ahead and get this stirred in. I'm just getting 2 more cups of white sugar stirred in. There is some beautiful juice down at the bottom of this crock pot. Look at that. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see that? This is going to be so nice, y'all. It smells absolutely wonderful. But it's still got a long way to cook. So I'll bring you back. Okay, I have been cooking these for probably about 4.5 hours now. And I just wanted to give you a look at how much these apples have cooked down. They were up at the top of the crock when I put them in, but they've just been going down, and they're producing a ton of that wonderful, delicious liquid, and it is delicious. I've given it a little taste. And I'm in this for the long haul. It's going to be hours yet before they're cooked down all the way. And I have the slow cooker actually on high. It's not even on low. But I just wanted you to be able to see this and have a chance to gauge what things look like. Maybe not quite halfway through the process. I have been stirring it probably every hour or so just to move things around, and just more cooking needs to be done. So I'm gonna put the lid back on it and leave it alone for a while, and I'll be back with you once these have cooked down and we're ready to move on to the next step. All right, y'all. This has been cooking for about 8 hours, and I've stirred it several times, but look at this. It is stirred down. It is cooked down so much. It is just like apple mush. It smells heavenly. It has released so many juices, and it's got all that sugar mixed in with those spices. So I think that there's probably another couple of hours of this, but I'm going to go ahead and use my immersion blender to just get these pieces broken down now that they are so soft and so really, I mean, they're easy to mash. So I'm just going to go ahead and use my immersion blender to get these, like I say, mushed down. All right, I think that that's pretty well blended. I'm actually going to let this cook just a little bit longer, but I want to taste it first. I want to see how this is. This is probably going to need to cook for another couple of hours. Oh, but I can't wait to taste it. Oh, y'all, that is so good. Yep, that is really, 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 really good. So let me just get this lid back on here. Alrighty. I finally had to move the apple butter over into this pot on the stove because it's been over 10 hours and my slow cooker is notoriously unreliable and it just wasn't coming to that gentle boil that it needed to come to. Of course, it also could be my fault because I kept taking the lid off to check on it. But nevertheless, after blending it down with the immersion blender and letting it cook another couple of hours, it's almost to the point where it's ready to put into jars. So I'm just waiting for it to get to that point where it's going to kind of mound on the spoon. It's almost there. It's not quite there yet. So I'll check back with you as soon as it's ready. I also have my jars sterilized. I have my funnel sterilized. I have my canner, my new steam canner over here. And I'll check back with you when it's time to can them up. Alrighty. It took a while, but let me get you down in here. But this is nice and thick and it's ready for canning. I've been using this long spoon because one thing about apple butter is it will start to pop once it starts to really boil, and it can pop out and it can burn you. So, but I've turned the burner off, and even though it's still really hot, maybe it won't burn me. But one way you can test to see if it's ready to can is see if the apple butter isn't like a liquid but it more stays on your spoon. Another thing you can do is take the apple butter, put a drip onto a plate just like this, and if it doesn't form a liquid ring around it, you're good to go. So I have my jars back there sterilized, all my equipment sterilized, everything's ready to go. So let me get the jars out and we'll get these canned up. All right, let me tell you about this canner. Actually, I'm going to lift this up one more time. You see that little gauge right on top of the canner? It has some little color codes, and whatever your processing time is, you're supposed to process your jars once it gets to the green zone for your altitude for the specified time for the recipe. Well, y'all, it's been a couple of days since I made this apple butter, but I wanted you to see it came out perfect. It was the wee hours of the morning when it got done. I wanted to just leave it and let it set overnight. The next morning was really busy and I just didn't get a chance to record this. And then a couple of days have gone by and I'm wanting to get this uploaded, and I realized I never did get this part to show you or to tell you about how much I absolutely loved that steam canner. I love it. It is fantastic. If you remember at the beginning of the video, I said I was looking forward to trying it out for the first time because my stove is a glass top stove and it takes forever and ever for it to bring up to a boil a full big pot of water. Just way too long. It'll do it. It just takes way too long. The steam canner, though, you only have to put I think 2.5 quarts of water in it, and so it heats up really fast. And then you only have to process the jars for 5 minutes, which is awesome. So, nevertheless, I'm going to enjoy using that for all of my water bath canning needs in the future. My mom has already tried this. She loves it. She says it tastes exactly like what she grew up with. And I'm pretty happy about that because this was my first time making it. But I was really excited about it. I thought it's a great crock pot recipe. You can definitely speed this along. You don't have to cook it in a crock pot. You can cook it in, some people have done it in an Instant Pot. I don't really know that I would like to do it that way, but you apparently can do it. You can also just do it on your stove top. But just, you know, I guess cook it a little faster. If you hear that noise, I don't know if you can even hear it. My dog has one of his little vests on, and he'll shake sometimes, so it'll make a little rattling sound. So anyway, in case you wonder what that is, but nevertheless, this is a keeper, this recipe. I hope you enjoy making it. If you make this, I want you to leave a comment below and let me know what you think. I didn't even used to like apple butter, but I love this. This is really good stuff. But definitely leave a comment if you like this video. You know the deal. Give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, be sure and subscribe, because guess what? In the days ahead, I'm going to start a new series that I'll be uploading videos every now and then having to do with holiday themed dishes. Some of them you have to make plenty in advance so they're actually ready in time for Christmas. And some of them you just will want to know how to make enough time in advance that you can stock up and buy the items you need. So subscribe, hit that little notification bell, leave comments, watch the other videos, share with your friends, all that good stuff. Until next time, thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.